Hello everyone. My family has personally been harassed for months. It has intensified within the last week, and that is why we are creating this video to speak to you and to give you a warning about what's happening. There's some kind of entity out there, some kind of group out there that it's a cowardly corporate influence group, and it's making a mockery of the Canadian justice system because it's hiding behind the system to cover it whatever agenda that it has. I'm not a preacher, and this is not a Bible study, but I have to let you know where I'm coming from, and it's not for the love of money that I'm doing this. Matthew 6:24 lets us know that we have to make a choice between the Most High and the love or the corruption of money and how it's being used. And that's what's going on with our situation right now. What is guiding me today to make this video comes out of the scripture of Ezekiel 3 and verse 16. At the end of 7 days, the word of the Most High came to me. Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the people of Israel. So hear the word I speak and give them warning from me. When I say to a wicked person that you shall surely die, and you do not warn them or speak out to dissuade them from their evil ways in order to save their life, the wicked person will die for their sin, and I will hold you accountable for their blood. But if you do warn the wicked person, and they do not turn from their wickedness or from their evil ways, they will die for their sin, but you will have saved yourself. This warning lets us know that we have a duty to our brothers and sisters. Again, when a righteous person turns from their righteousness and does evil, and I put a stumbling block before them, they will die. Since you did not warn them, they will die for their sin. The righteous things that person did will not be remembered, and I will hold you accountable for their blood. But if you do warn the righteous person not to sin, and they do not sin, they will surely live because they took warning, and you will have saved yourself. And this just lets us also know that we have a responsibility to correct as well. This group is using some kind of script that they've already created. They have a network of careers they cover a network of careers within a large geographical area. When we were being chased, they chased us from one major city onto another. We went from Toronto all the way to Ottawa. Within that area, they used different people from different walks of life and different careers. So that's one thing that they're using. Two, they're extreme. It's a financially based organization, and we know this because of the amount of vehicles that would be chasing us down, following us, or that they would have to use to track us down. They would use different utility trucks. They would call in tow trucks, the ambulance, police. 911. They had access to these. Somehow they had access to hearing, or either from our telephone, what we were doing, as well as the access to different utility trucks. Three, they're also, one of the major things that they do is that first they gather information on you. So during the early months, they would be following you and just getting information about your whereabouts. Where do you shop? Where do you go to the library? Where do you go to the gym? So that's the first thing that they're doing. This situation you don't usually notice, and this time period usually goes by. 4, the technology to track you and to disrupt is used to disrupt your communication. So they have advancement in technology, and they use it to their fullest. When you try to make communication, they will try to disrupt it. We were at one particular location. They backed up right behind us, and we were trying to use our telephone to contact for help, and it was being jammed. Everything was being jammed on the phone, and we're wondering what is going on here. Different times that we would make a phone call, even when we would try to call 911, you start seeing maybe vehicles start moving out from the location as if they have heard that we're trying to call somebody in. Different things like this was letting us know. One of the major things was also they were tracking our vehicle. Somehow they knew where we were located, and many times it wasn't because someone had told them. We would locate ourselves in an abandoned area, and they would get in the proximity of it fairly quickly. So that's another reason, that's another thing that we know that they're using. All of this is letting us know that they have a lot of financial power and clout. They use people in your community to gather information about you. And that's why you may not notice when people are following you or trying to get information about you. First of all, this should be illegal. If it's not a police officer asking about you, people shouldn't be just giving out information about you. But what's going on is they'll send like a small child to go down and say, go see if someone's down in that area. And you'll see the small child will walk down, maybe they may pay them or whatever they do, and the child will start looking at your license plate. The thing is, they're not very subtle about it. That's when you know something's up, because children don't usually do those kind of things. They'll walk by, and they'll bend down, and they'll try to look at your license plate, and then they'll walk down to the end, and then they'll stop. Then they may pull out a phone. Okay? These are different hints that somebody is sending somebody, that somebody is encouraging these people to get information on you and get back to them. We've had people come right up to the van, peek inside, try to peek inside a vehicle that we had because it was shaded very darkly, trying to find out who's inside it. And then we need to pull out a phone to try to contact somebody. So these are certain different things that they have been using, or they use on the attack against us. When chasing you, they will use local individuals, as I just mentioned. But if they get ahead of you and you're in a situation where there's not too many different avenues that you can go off, they know where you're going to go, they'll get ahead of you, and they'll talk to people ahead of you, a gas station attendant, where you may go in, or a store, in case the person does come in, to maybe direct them in a different direction. We went and were directed by people who should have known the area to go in a totally different area to return home. They were purposely telling us so that we would get lost in certain situations. And this happened several times when we were in different areas. Now, this had happened because we thought that the GPS was causing problems for us, and that they were tracking us. So we cut that. So we didn't have that ability with us to use. For some reason, we were finding that they always want to get close to our mode of transportation. We felt that they were maybe trying to put something on the vehicle. What it was, we were not quite sure. But please look out for these things. They always want to try to separate you from your family. Somehow they're going to separate you from your family. They want to marginalize you so that they'll have more influence in doing whatever their plan is. The 10th thing on my list, but the reason that we're doing this video is because we want you to stay protected and to be able to fight back. And to do this, we must all be organized. And we have to start organizing before they do this. So I'm saying this out to different groups, true believers. I'm saying this out to, as well as true believers in truth and justice. as well as my fellow brothers and sisters who are out there, and Aboriginal people, because many times we are marginalized or we are deemed as not having all the resources that everybody else does, and we can easily be picked off. So please keep this in mind, that you need to organize with others right away before this starts, because once they're chasing you, you can't you can't get organized. They don't give you that chance. They're already telling people and trying to influence others, you have to stay connected to trustworthy family, friends, and neighbors. Another thing is, make sure you're taking pictures and you document it, and share your pictures and your documentation with other people that are within your neighborhood. But most of all, you have to remember to pray for guidance. These people are cowardly because they show that what they're doing is they're doing this harassment to an individual, but they wouldn't dare do this to an organized group, like even a gang. They're worse than the gangs, because at least the gangs, they're going to fight back. They're not going to put up with this if you try to pull this on them. But they bully an individual and they'll put this on them. So I want you to keep this in mind with what's going on. That's the most we've gotten from what's happening in our lives right now. Remember that they're influencing so many different people from so many different walks of life. So it's a chance you may get someone who's good or bad in a different walk of life, and it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, any career. Even the police, depending on who you have to talk to, you may get a better response from them. Sometimes they think that that you don't know what you're talking about. They'll brush it off. Then you get another police officer that will take you more seriously. You can't give up. There's good and bad in every walk of life. But what you have to do is that you have to keep information for yourself to come against these people, and you have to organize it yourself. So to stay protected, you must stay protected in the fight back. What we've learned is that you must organize, and you have to start organizing immediately before they start gathering information on you. You try to stay connected to trustworthy friends and families and neighbors. If you don't do this, they will already be influencing the people when they start, and you won't even know. You think that you're going to be grabbing somebody else to come on in with you, but they've already spoken to them, and they'll be giving information. And we've had this in situations. You go to even places that you regularly go to, certain stores that you go to, and they'll start asking you questions, more questions than they usually ask you about your personal life. But mainly, one of the main things to do is to take pictures and document things, keep a track of it. Once you speak to this about your friends and neighbors, have them also take more pictures and document it. Bring them together. See what you're going to have to be the investigator yourself, the private investigator yourself, to get this information, because it's not that easy to get, and you need to be organized to come against them. That's why we're doing this video, because they're coming at us for some reason. I don't know what it is. It could be some test run for something, a prelude to the future or what they want to do to us, but they've been testing on us, and that's what we've learned from our ordeal. The main thing, though, is you have to keep in mind Romans 8 and 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble, or hardship, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or danger, or sword? As it is written, for your sake we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels or demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, or anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Yeshua, our Lord. Stay strong, brothers and sisters.